Had problems pitching or negotiating with someone, I want to share something with you today is a technique that I use to help people to learn how to actually be able to create an offer that's compelling in order to get people to buy what you're selling or to convince them of your ideas. Too many times people come over the top and they come up with outlandish promises or claims which actually invalidates your trust and makes it so that you're not going to sell something. So conversely, you can actually sell more by offering less. That's what we're going to demonstrate in this video. So this video is a clip from my high-end coaching program, my Well That Never Runs Dry. I'm giving you a sneak peek in there. We have some fun from time to time on these weekly coaching calls, and this one was one of the fun little things that we did that taught a very important lesson. See if you can figure out what the lesson is by the end of this video.
Okay, so my question is regarding the email I sent you about the grants and finding someone who would be interested in doing what I proposed in regards. So it's not so much that it would be like payment plans or whatever. I would just pay it off in one shot, get their money back for sure. And I'm just trying to think, like, when doing a loan like that with someone, what is a good percentage of offering them extra?
Like of offering them extra, like they're going to front you money and then you're going to make some money off of that money. And then what do you pay them back?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good question. Again, you just have to think like a banker. It's based on the risk profile of the thing. So if this is the first time someone's ever lent you money and there doesn't look like a very good probability of you paying it back, you're going to have to offer them more of a return. And I would just look at it as percentage of return. It's like, okay, I could give you money and I could get X return, or I could put this money in, let's say the stock market and get 8% return. So there's risk in the stock market. Obviously it could go down, but there's the potential upside. So you're a higher risk than the stock market probably, unless you have like a really solid, like the more solid the case you can show that you're less of a risk, the less of the return that you have to offer someone. But
well, it would be, yeah. So in my case, it would just be a student loan. So I would just have to show that I got approved for the student loan and then how much.
And then they're getting their money automatic. There's no.
Yeah, no, I would make sure that they get their money automatic. I would put things in place, make it as clean and crystal clear as possible, because I could grind it out. It would take a couple of years to grind it out to then pay off those things to get it. But I just thought it'd be quicker to get someone, because it's like a for sure, pretty much a for sure guarantee.
But here's the question that anyone's going to ask you is, what could go wrong? Like, how do I not get my money? What could happen? And you have to have an answer for that.
The government comes and does a press conference and says they're obliterating student loans. And that's even before I get my investment back.
And that's the only way that they could lose their money.
Yeah, because the way it works is I just have to show that I'm enrolled in classes, which I am. I would get everything in writing. I guess another thing too, is because I'd have to pay it first. Is the person that I talked to, they say they made a mistake, but I've talked to the financial person that I'm dealing with, my financial advisor and stuff for the proposal. And they said, no, it seems pretty sure, especially if you get it in writing, because once you get it in writing legally, they have to write it off. Well, it would be. We
could test this right here. Actually, this is maybe a good experiment that we have here, because we have a lot of people in this room. I'm sure some people are capable of lending you money. Just an experiment at this stage. But if you guys want to go, it's like Shark Tank. It's not binding, but if you want to be on the Shark Tank, we can do that. Okay. So present the offer succinctly, because we don't have a huge amount of time here. And then what are you willing to give someone for this? Like pitch.
Okay. So the offer that I'd be getting for the loans is it'd be giving me about 50,000. I would have to eventually pay back school once I graduate, which would take 9 years. I've paid back about 10. I keep 40. In order to do that, I need around 16,000. So I would probably come up with the first half to show that I'm serious and I'm paying my half. And then I would ask for the other half and I could easily double it.
And what do they get? What are you offering them?
So if they gave me 8, they would get 16.
So you're offering someone to double their money.
Yeah. Like I could probably do it in one shot, or we could do it in like split between the semesters. And I could show proof of my grades, since returning to school have been quite high, like in the 90s, 80s. So because OSAP's prevalent on the fact that you're staying in school, you're doing your studies type thing.
All right. So let's put it up to a vote here, guys. This is your own personal Shark Tank moment. And again, I'm doing this exercise not to get Matt money. I like you, Matt, but I'm doing this as more of a lesson, like a teaching, so we can learn, because this is a perfect example of how to figure some of this stuff out. Based on what Matt is just offering right now, he wants 8 grand. He's telling you he's going to give you back 16. I don't think you said the timeline. Like
It would be within a year.
so they have to wait a year,
Yeah.
but they'll double their money or within
Well,
a
yeah,
year.
for sure within
Maximum
a
is
year.
Okay. So in the chat, guys, I want everyone to vote on this if you can, because this way we get it complete. Would you, based on this right now, give Matt $8,000 to get back 16 within 1 year?
We asked a question before voting.
Let's just start with what we have right now.
Okay.
And then I'll open it for you guys to ask some questions. So yeah, vote if you would or not. And I'll vote too. So let's see. So we got Darren says yes. We got a lot of no's here. Michael says I'm suspicious. I want to know. I think, is anyone not voted here? If you want to get your vote in. Almost all no's. Darren is the one who said yes. And Michael says I'm suspicious. Darren, why do you say yes?
Because you said it's based off of what we know. I give him 8 grand and then I get 16 at the end of the year. That's pretty much just simple math. But I don't know any other variables.
But you would do that right now? If this deal is really presented to you right now, you're going to give him 8 grand?
What he said, I give him 8 grand and I get 16 grand promised at the end of the year. Definitely. That's like 100 grand to 200 grand.
But you'll do it. Like after this, I'm not binding you to it, but.
Hell no, I'm not doing it.
See, so it's a no. It's a no. It's a no.
Variables. I thought we were gonna build on top of it. What else are we?
Well, I'm saying right now, with the information we have right now, are you willing to, if we say let's do the deal, are you willing to do the deal? So everyone said no, including myself. Michael, you said I'm suspicious. I want to know more.
Yeah, just to elaborate, I'm suspicious because isn't this what hedge fund managers do with years and years worth of experience for really rich people? Because at the end of the day, someone's essentially doubling their money. And why are you aiming so low if you can double money in such a quick manner? Because wouldn't you want to aim higher? It's really suspicious to me because it sounds like you're aiming low for someone who's financially illiterate because you're trying to double their money and they don't really know how to double their money themselves. That's what it sounds like to me.
So let me ask a question for you guys based on that. So here's something interesting, because this is what I thought, Matt. Let me ask this question. Again, guys, vote in here. Would you be more or less likely to accept this deal if he offered you a 20% return instead of a 100% return? More or less likely?
What?
Okay.
I don't understand. Okay.
For someone who said more, why do you say more? Because I say more as well.
More believable.
This goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning of this call. It's belief. I don't believe that you're going to double my money. It sounds too good to be true. That's what Michael was saying. So when you make an offer to someone, even a 20% return seems unbelievable. I think if you offer like a 10 to 15% return, I think that sounds pretty believable. Or if you said, hey, if you give me $8,000, I will give you back $10,000. That also sounds believable. Saying that you're going to double it, there's a lot of hoops you'd have to jump through in order for it. It may be true, but it just sounds so unbelievable. So it's not the best offer that you can make. Sometimes offering more is less.
I was just looking at it as like, well, this person's helping me out really well. I want to hook them up. That's how I was looking at it, right? Like based on the calculations I did and the way OSAP works, it's pretty much a done deal. Whoever could help me.
Now, let me give you another example, right?
Yeah.
For you guys. One thing that you haven't provided in this pitch is how they secure their money. So how do I know you're not going to walk off with my 8 grand? Like I have to wait a year. What kind of collateral do I have? What are you going to put up or pledge that I know that if I don't get my 8 grand, I'm going to get this? You're missing that piece. The only collateral is your goodwill, is your good faith.
Yeah.
No one on this call knows you very well. If I were your best buddy, I grew up with you, I know that you're not going to stiff me for 8 grand, but you always got to think about if you're going to make this kind of offer to someone, they have to have some security. Don't make the offer too good, so it's unbelievable. And again, part of the reason why I'm telling you guys this is because this is sales. And this is also to understand real estate investing of why people lend you money. And if you ask for a loan, why your loans are getting denied and how this works. Because we're just testing it right here. We're saying like you guys, literally any one of you guys could take this deal right now and you could give Matt 8 grand and he will give you 16 at the end of the year. But none of us want to take that deal. And this is why. So if you figure out all the reasons why, and you could convince one of us to take that deal, then you wouldn't even need someone on this call because you could find someone else that would take that deal. But if you can't convince a bunch of people on this call to take that deal where you were even offering to double their money, no one's going to take the deal. Because here, at least you have people that you know had at least 2 grand in their pocket or 3 grand in their pocket. In the rest of the world, you don't know. So what I'm saying is that if you can't get a deal here, you're not going to get a deal somewhere else. So what would it take for you to do this deal right now with Matt? What would you need?
Explanation where he's getting the money from.
Fraud protection, I think. That'd be the main thing for me.
Anyone else?
De-risking.
Just some sort of collateral, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So think about that, Matt. Think about how you can solve those problems to make that deal. Because if you want to make this happen, you're going to have to solve all those problems. Anyone else have an insight on what Matt could provide real quick so that someone would take this deal?
I need references or something. I need testimonies. I need to know how the hell is he doing this? Because it sounds too good to be true.
I could show you like how it works. So it's student loans. So now if it's just one person on student loans, the government tends to give you around 15 to 18K. If it's one person with 4 kids on student loans, they give you 50K. You have to pay them once you're graduated, the 10K back each year, but you keep the 40 provided you keep passing the courses. And you can do this up to 15 years. If you have disability, 10 if you don't.
And then how does the 16 grand why do you need 16 grand? Can't you just get a loan without the 16 grand?
So it's because I was an idiot prior with finances.
So you have to pay off an existing debt before they'll give you a new
Yeah,
loan. See, that
yeah.
was the part you left out. That would have soured the deal for anyone who heard that would have been like, I don't trust him.
Yeah,
now.
yeah, no, and that's what
Right?
that's what I mean. Yeah.
So this is another good lesson, just in negotiation, anything. If you got some kind of skeleton in your closet, your goal is to put it out before they find it out. Because if they find it out,
Yeah.
like I just found out, it makes you seem less trustworthy. If you're like, hey, look, by the way, I got to tell you up front, look, this is the deal. I was not good with my money in the past. I have student loan debt. In order for me to get this loan, I have to pay off an existing loan. And that's why I need the money. It's totally my fault. That's who I was then. If you don't want to deal the deal, if you don't even want to talk to me, you don't trust me because of that, totally fine. I totally get it. I would feel the same way. Now you start having that conversation, you've established a lot more trust because they're like, okay, he's not hiding something. Like, I get this. But when it's like, and then finally it comes out, then it's like, oh, okay, now I get it. Now it makes sense. And now it does make sense. Like now I could see how you could double the money because you're going to get 50 grand.
Which I did when I originally messaged you about it. I did do it that way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I didn't completely understand, like put all the pictures together, but anyway, I hope this helps you guys as far as
I wanted to add something. Go ahead. What you just said. Yeah, if you tell your story, it actually helps me. It makes me trust you a little bit more. Because I know when I'm selling courses, me being a mobile developer and telling my story, my journey, it helps me be more relatable. So if you went to college, a lot of people have student loans. And if you had trouble with that, a lot of people can relate to having trouble with student loans. And if you just put that out there, it makes you more relatable.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Tell the hero's journey because everyone can rally behind the hero's journey.
Exactly. So hopefully that helps you, Matt. Like I said, and take all these things we took into account, come up with a good pitch for it, and then you've got some.
Yeah, I'll rewatch it and we could run the exercise again as a question in the future.
Yeah, it'd be good to see if you could do a pitch that when we could see what the results are. It'll be a little bit biased because we did this. So but it'll just be interesting to hear your pitch to see, because I think that if you have the right pitch, you can find probably someone that would take up the deal, right? How many of you guys on this call right now are more inclined now after hearing this to do the deal? If you're more, or you could put more or same or less, some sames, some mores.
This has been a really good exercise. Thanks, everybody.
So there's some sames here. It looks like maybe a little bit more same. They're about same, about half same and half more. No one said less. So that goes to what Darren was saying there. So it's true. The honesty, being transparency is one of the most important things. And because every deal is based on trust. Every transaction, anytime someone buys from you, it's always based on trust. You would not buy something from someone. It doesn't matter how good the offer is. You see some guy on the street and he's like, hey, you want to buy a Rolex? You're not buying that Rolex. A sucker would buy that Rolex, but all transactions are based on trust. You enjoyed that clip. We had a lot of fun in the group coaching call there. But if you want to become financially free, make sure that you click the link down below and book a free call with me and one of my team members. And we are going to help you to figure out how to actually do this. I've helped a ton of people to become financially free, to build financial independence. I've done it myself at 33 years old when I first became, quote, retired or financially free. And I want to show you how to do the same thing. So if this interests you, if you want to learn stuff like this, and be in that kind of fun group environment where you can learn things, meet people, and get on the path to true financial freedom, click the link down below, book your free call, and talk to us as soon as possible.